What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Hugo Strange here one more time, here with a nerdy tag video. Normally I don't do tag videos, but my girlfriend said, hey, you should do this tag because you would know more about it than I would. And I was like, sure, whatever. So here we are. Yes, that's a cat in my windowsill. There's another cat. Question number 1, Kirk or Picard? This is a difficult question for me because I like both, but I'm gonna have to go with Picard. I love William Shatner. Shatner is the best, but I'm gonna have to go with Picard because Picard is the captain that I grew up with. He's the captain that I know more about. He's the captain that I've watched more frequently, and yeah, he was just the one that I identified with more than Kirk. So I'm gonna have to say Picard. And I feel really bad because I love William Shatner, but I'm gonna have to go with Picard. Warrior, wizard, or thief? I'm gonna have to say wizard. I would like to be a wizard. Wizards are cool. They have the powers and the stuff, and it'd be great to be a wizard. Yeah, just wizard. Definitely a wizard. What would your Patronus be? Don't know what that is. Haven't seen Harry Potter. Favorite superhero? Let me see. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be. Favorite superhero? I'm gonna have to say Beast Boy. That was Beast Boy before the reboot. I love Beast Boy. Beast Boy is one of my favorite characters. I would love to write Beast Boy as a character. And yeah, pulling into a close second would definitely be Brainiac 5. Yeah, Brainiac 5, Jonah of Rimbor, Ultra Boy. And, yeah, so those are kind of my favorite superheroes, yes. Star Trek or Star Wars? Definitely Star Wars. I'm more knowledgeable about the Star Wars mythos than I am Star Trek. I love Star Trek, but I'm definitely more of a Star Wars guy than I am a Star Trek guy. Marvel or DC? I'm gonna have to say DC. I own a heck of a lot more DC comics than I do Marvel. Nothing against Marvel, but DC has more of the characters that I like. More of the characters that I'm much more familiar with, and more of the characters that I grew up watching. Because I used to watch the Justice League cartoon on, not the Justice League cartoon, but the Super Friends cartoon on Cartoon Network, and those were all DC characters, so yeah. What's your dream career choice? Telling stories. I'm a storyteller by nature. I tell stories whenever I get the opportunity to. That would be either through pictures, music, because I do make music. Pictures, music, and just general stories. Anything I can tell a story and make a profit off of it, it's a good day. So I'm a storyteller, so telling stories. My dream choice career would probably be screenwriting. I'm a screenwriter. I would like to be in the film industry, writing movies, directing movies, and just telling stories. So anything that involves telling stories, boom. Favorite video game? I'm gonna have to say wrestling games. I own a heck of a lot more wrestling games than I do any other kind of game. And that's only because of the create a character aspect of it. Any game that allows me to create a character and to make it more personal for me, those are naturally going to be the games that I flock to. But for the most part, those have usually been wrestling games, so wrestling games. Favorite author? Undeniably Stephen King. I've read a lot of his works. I've really enjoyed a lot of his works, and I'm much more familiar with a lot of his works. Yeah, that's not exactly the most exciting answer, but that is the truthful answer. As far as like books, if we're just talking about books, or we're talking about just like favorite writer, I would have to say Quentin Tarantino, Jeff Johns, Mark Waid, Barry Kitsis, Kai Tume, she wrote Layman of the Lamb, the guy who wrote Battle Royale. I'm not going to sit here and just prattle off a bunch of Japanese names here. So those would be some of my favorite writers, but my favorite author is undeniably Stephen King. Favorite indie band? I don't really do. My favorite indie band would probably have to be Drive Shaft. You all everybody acting like you're stupid people wearing expensive. I'm sorry. Favorite indie band? I'm gonna have to say Abandoned Pools. I don't know if they qualify as an indie band. A lot of people haven't heard of them, so I'm gonna say Abandoned Pools, and it's actually just one guy, so Abandoned Pools. What's the nerdiest thing about yourself? Well, Nerdiest movie in your collection? I would have to say that would be Sound of My Voice. It's one of those indie films that's really subtextual. There's a lot of, but I mean, it's entertaining. It's not one of those like indie films that's like, oh, it's so boring. It's one of those movies that no one's really heard of, but if you have heard of it, it's very good. It's very awesome. Very just, it's slow building, but when it gets to the ending, you're just like, whoa, that was intense. And yeah, so that would be the nerdiest movie in my collection, I think. PlayStation, Xbox, or Wii? Obviously PlayStation. I'm a PlayStation man. My goal for this year is to own a PlayStation 3. Shut up. I know the PlayStation 4 is out. I don't care. I'm not upgrading. I'm getting a PlayStation 3, and that's it. Greatest nerd accomplishment? Well... Okay, and the one labeled Death Town have multiple books into them, as you can see with the number. You know, this is number 31, number 30, 36, you know, number 6, number 11 down there. So yeah, there are multiple books in these because I don't have enough room on my bed to lay them all out. So yeah, that's my nerdiest accomplishment. How about that? Biggest nerd role model, obviously Quentin Tarantino. The guy is just a standard, like, lay down, into discussion geek. Like, the guy, he's a dork. Like, he's a geek, but he's an awesome, like, geek. Like, he's like the very definition of what it means to be a cool geek. Like, he just comes in there and he just lays down this geek knowledge on you. You're like, whoa, this dude is like super like geeked out on some things. So that would be Quentin Tarantino. He's kind of that geek, that movie geek role model there, that guy who's just like, he just really loves what he's talking about, and I like people like that. So yeah, Quentin Tarantino. What fictional character did you fantasize about as a kid? Fantasize about? Sexually or non-sexually? I'm gonna say non-sexually, because this is sort of like a, you know, family channel. So, which character did I fantasize about non-sexually? I'm gonna have to say, mostly Superman. Superman was that character that everybody wanted to be, everybody wanted to see, and I thought it would be cool to like see Superman here and there. You know, of course Batman, but I would say mostly Superman because he could fly, and flying's cool. Now, as far as sexually goes, old school bit games or modern 3D graphics. Modern 3D graphics. Like, real talk, like, I love the bit games, don't get me wrong, like Sonic, all the Sonic series. I'm talking about the actual games, not the spin-offs and the Sonic pinball, not that BS. I'm talking about the actual, like, Sonic games. Those will always have a special place in my heart. I still have them. I got them on PlayStation, but I mean, when you have games like GoldenEye, Diddy Kong Racing, and Perfect Dark, Legends of Zelda, The Ocarina of Time, I mean, the list goes on and on. Those games were just, like, way ahead of where they needed to be as far as, you know, like, graphics and things of that nature. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the 3D graphics, just because just the level of gameplay was elevated, and the level of strategy was elevated higher than it was with bit games. Nerdiest pickup line. Hey baby, I got something long and hard for you. And it's not a Polish name. What the hell is my problem? Nerdiest article of clothing you've ever worn? I don't exactly know what qualifies as nerd clothing. It's not like I wear sweater vests or anything. I actually like sweater vests. I just could never wear them. Because it's not exactly my style. Nerdiest article of clothing. I'd have to say I had a Darth Maul t-shirt back in the day. I got a Justice League shirt that I wear, a Green Lantern shirt, and a Flash shirt that I have, and a Black Adam shirt that I have, but I guess those would count as nerdy. Do you have a random useless talent, and what is it? Yes! Do you read the book before seeing the movie? No. Oftentimes, I don't really, like... Sometimes I find out the movies are books, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's weird. But lately I've been trying to get more into the habit of reading the book before I see the movie. Which is why I, like, devoured all of, like, Stephen King's Dark Tower series, because they were saying, oh, we're gonna make a Dark Tower movie, and I'm like, now would be the time to really dive into that. So, I've been doing that a lot with the Stephen King works, because oddly enough, I haven't seen a lot of the Stephen King movies. I have seen some of them, but I don't remember much of them. Like, I saw It, but I don't remember a lot of It. And so I wanted to read the book, then go back and revisit the movie. I remember the movie Misery, and I saw that, and the book is way worse than the movie. Oh, let me tell you. So I definitely prefer the book as opposed to the movie with Misery. And Under the Dome, I read that before it became a CBS series, and I absolutely loathe the CBS series. Like, I hate it. Like, it's putrid to me. The book was way better in my opinion. So I'm doing that with the works of Stephen King. But everything else, I try to avoid movies that were books because I'd rather not get into that discussion with people like, oh, the book was better. It's like, well, I don't know the book, I know the movie. You know, so I would rather, I try to avoid movies like that, or if not, I try to at least be as familiar with the books as possible so that when the movie comes out, I'm well informed about what's missing in the movie and how it could have been done better. If they did it better in the movie as opposed to the book. So, yeah. Last one here. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? I'd say Captain Marvel's superpower. To transform into someone else with a heck of a lot more superpowers. That would be awesome. Just one superpower. If I had to pick just one superpower, I would say, well, there are loopholes to these things because, you know, one superpower could actually snowball into a lot of superpowers. So it's like if I said I would like to have Brainiac 5's a 12th level intellect, that means I could actually invent things that would give me superpowers. So I'm going to say, as far as a useful superpower goes, I'm going to say Brainiac 5's 12th level intellect. Because that way, I mean, nothing's difficult for you. You can solve any problem, and you can basically, like, you can learn pretty much anything and get yourself where you need to be as far as, like, you know, physical stamina, because you would have that knowledge to know how to do that as quickly as possible, or, you know, the know-how to get to where you need to go, or invent something that's going to help you do something. So yeah, Brainiac 5's 12th level intellect, that would be awesome for me. Alrighty, so long video, and I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you guys later. Bye! In the spoiler territory with Stephen King. Phone! How about that? Hello? Okay. was I? Right, Stephen King.